What's going on, commanders? Welcome back to another video. Gotta watch your rounds. Upcoming summoning banner hero. We're gonna be talking about. We could talk Nastia. Nastia's been out for a while. If you don't have Nastia, you're gonna want to pull for Nastia, especially if you've got Greed or not Greed. Especially if you got Vorn and Numera. Promise you, she is one of the best ESO lords. Or maybe she is the best ESO lord. Anyways, we are talking about Knight Arlott. Sorry. So he is a cultist Infernal faction, which is cool that they put Infernal on there because they need a tank. There's going to be probably some options to use Arlott in the faction trials, the Infernal faction trials. Maybe the cultist, but I don't think he will pull in flyers and stuff like that, and that is pretty much the main issue, and the anti-healing. So we'll go into his kit and his awakenings. So he's a paladin who died in betrayal, and now he's the leader of the Immortal City, and then he's basically waiting in prison to exact his revenge upon Commander Olag. I don't think it's the Olag we're all thinking of. I think it's some other dick named Olag who put this guy in prison for a bunch of time, and now he's all pissed off and wants to go. His talent. So when he's deployed, these soul-bound purgatories reduces enemy movement speed by 25%. So not the slowest, but it is slow. Any slow is good. Seems all heroes have slow or magic res or defense res or something like that these days. So, and then inflicts condemnation to the enemy with highest HP. Basically, he's doing damage equal to 15% of the damage that everybody else is taking from the purgatory, and up to 500% of the hero's max HP. So that's just when deployed. I mean, yeah, debatable where you could use that. Okay, so he is a defender. Let's go into the details here. He starts out with a decent amount of HP. I mean, it would be nice to see over 30,000 there, but that's okay. His defense, decent. Magic res, garbage as usual. 4 block, 19 cost. Quite a short attack interval, but he is only doing 1 magic damage to 1 enemy, and that is his range stays like that as well. So kind of a cool range, for a tank or whatever, but viability for, well, I mean, do you ever really need, other than arena, you don't really need that reach, but maybe that's where you want to use them. I don't know. Okay, so we'll go to his auto here. The Nether Flame Curse. So every 5 seconds deals 100% damage to up to 8 enemies within the Soulbound Purgatory. That's like that big 2 tile. Basically, kind of that range, I believe. Okay, so, and it restores 2% max HP to the hero for every 1 enemy hit. It's pretty good. He causes some burning, and for every 1 stack of burning within the purgatory, up to an increase of 100%. The restoration amount increase. Oh, so up to 4% max HP. So just super tanky. And then this would be cool if it wasn't every 20 seconds. Or I guess it goes down to 15 seconds. Still, inflict stun. Nothing crazy. 2 seconds. Up to 5 enemies. and deals 100% AoE damage up to 5 enemy targets. So, I mean, you might be able to use him in the Matrix as a tank and do some damage. That's about the only beneficial place I can think about using him. And so his ultimate, it's manual, which is cool. 10 seconds. Okay. His block goes up another one, so he gets 2 increased block, and the effect duration does go up to 15 seconds. So when activated, increases the range of the purgatory, I guess, to this 2, yeah. So that is the range of the purgatory during the ult, is that nice 2 tile or 3 tile range. Increases block by 1, which goes up by 2. He's got 4 block, that's 6 blocks. So he's up there kind of with Malvira as far as being able to block. I think Malvira can do... Well, we'll look into her kit also, because it's kind of who he's playing against or competing with, in my opinion, is Malvira. And so everybody gets burning in range, inflicts the amount of burning. Pulls 5 ground enemies in range. So yeah, he's doing kind of the same thing as Malvira there. It's kind of like if you get Malvira A3, which if you're going to play GVG or any amount of time, you're going to probably end up running her A3 eventually anyway, and then this guy's just out the window. But for A0, this guy might do okay, because once he pulls in the enemies in range, dealing 300% damage, inflicts stun for a couple seconds. Within 10 seconds of its duration, gains unyielding for 5 seconds. So he does have that unyielding. That's why I think maybe you can run him in Matrix, although I don't know if he's going to be able to unyield from both of the focus strikes, especially with the 900 cost count for his ultimate. Even if you have that rage regen unit, it's going to be pretty tight. It does go down to 800. And then he's going to have basically 1 grant of unyielding, and then he'll be unyielding for 5 seconds. Okay. So he does have unyielding in his kit. It's through his ult and within 10 seconds of the ult, which is cool. So I mean, if it does extend, if the ultimate's 15 seconds and you get an extra 5 seconds after that, you're 20 seconds. You gonna come back fast enough? To be determined. So as of a tank in GVG, this is pretty much what he's competing with. Well, we'll go through his awakenings. So 20% magic vulnerability. Pretty cool, but a lot of people put that out anyway. Rosalia, Valesi, Ezereth, take your pick, quite a few. So that is what it is. We got HP plus 1200. When Netherflame Curse hits an enemy with Condemnation, triggers 3 extra times damage and HP restoration effects. So a little bit of kind of a burst damage, I guess you could call it. I mean, I don't know how hard it's really going to hit, and is it going to, even if it does hit hard, say in Matrix, is it going to hit hard enough in the later waves? Probably not. All damage reduction, good for a tank, and during the ultimate increases condemnation damage to 30%. So, seems to be kind of like a half tank, half DPS. I'm sure if you build them right and you got the gear, And there are those places where you want to run somebody with unyielding, maybe Matrix. Anyways, this is who he's competing with, in my opinion. Malvira. So, Malvira, she's HP based damage scaling, and so is Arlott. He does damage to the one target based on his max HP. So we'll see who scales better. I mean, if you have the crit rate and crit damage on Malvira, she can actually do quite a bit of damage. But when taking fatal damage, consumes 3 stacks of resentment and enters unyielding, lasting for 6 seconds. So the trigger interval, so 55 seconds. So yeah, her unyielding's a little bit longer, but the trigger interval is 55 seconds. But she can continue to do that, so if the fight goes in GVG. But the big one really is this, okay? During Call the Reaper, which is the alt, basically the caster's only taken 80% damage. And then with all her resentment, she... yeah, for every stack of resentment consumed, max HP is increased by 2%. So she's getting a bunch of boost there. She's only taking 80% of damage, and the rest is after that. And then damage dealt as life drain at a rate of 1 time per second every 10 seconds until the Call the Reaper ends. So she becomes quite hard to kill, especially if she has any kind of rage regen, and 600 cost. So, and she also sucks in the enemies, and then he increases hero block by 3. So my final verdict on Arlott is, oh yeah, he's pretty cool looking hero. He's got this knife in his shoulder here, and well done hero. Like the rest, kind of got a bit of a Cyrus companion vibe going to him. But yeah, final verdict. If you don't have Malvira, probably pull for him. He is Cultist. He will work in GVG for you, probably. You know, if you don't have the Catagrim. He might be useful in Matrix, and most likely it'll be useful for the Infernal faction trials, and maybe some arena, but most likely a lot of you are watching this, you're like mid to late game kind of thing, maybe end game. Yeah, he's just, I don't think he's going to live up to Malvira's standards unless, like I say, there's some kind of crazy way to build him or whatever. He gets buffed or he just does a ton of damage, but I don't think so. Yeah. All right, that's about it. That's about all. Yeah. If you stayed till the end, I appreciate your time. Hope it helps.